Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview ahead of Derby Whisperer, because we hate derbies. Head of the derby, joined by the Red Men lads, Chris and Paul. Pleasure to have them in here.
Good to see you in much better spirits though, lads. Little trip away to Germany, little win, and all of a sudden I can hear positive words.
I'm not being funny, it's just the trip to Germany.
The win was like the cherry last night, was the cherry.
But normally we hear you like effing and cursing and all that type of stuff in a negative manner. It's you know, being stood near you has been a pleasant experience for once.
Again, a trip to Germany.
Like football
really helped us.
Back into your blood.
Football's been in the blood.
Football transfusion.
Definitely Germany.
Definitely
German beer.
German brasses.
German, no, sadly not.
Glad you're doing the edit.
There you go. yeah, big edit. Listen, it's literally not crazy. Obviously, you are more confident than we are going into this game, but I think I want to know first and foremost is the pressure that is now heaped on Liverpool. Are you feeling it more going into this derby? Take obviously the derby thing out of it, but because of where you are in the title race and knowing that it's a derby and we could.
Barry, I have not enjoyed a single game of football this season. Not enjoyed, and then people going because it's disgusting. I feel filthy saying the words, to be honest, because it's all we've asked for is to be even remotely in the position that we're in for years and years and years. I never enjoyed the derby anyway. And again, once again, be like, well, you win, but they're not. Derbies are not enjoyable. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. No. Added to this, it's going to make it even less enjoyable because. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the mid-90s again when you used to beat us, and all my best mates were Evertonians, and I had to live with that whole. We finished movies every season, but you beat us in the derby, and we might as well have set fire to every game we played in the league because I couldn't have a sensible conversation about footy for the entire year because it was like, we beat us, and that's what I feel like is we've got looming in this game. Is if you manage to take points off us. And it leads to Liverpool, and at the minute it'll be tacked onto a run of relatively poor form for us anyway. You're just going to have that. Whether it's a good thing to have, whether it's another sign of how far Everton have fallen, is completely irrelevant. It's not going to. It's heavy banter material, and I'd rather not live in that world.
Chris,
I'm fearful because of how much pressure is on the game. I think everybody knows, you know, as a fan, it's not been particularly enjoyable. Everybody talks about, and we've talked about, how you need to enjoy the ride, and so it's very, very difficult to enjoy the ride. You know, when draws feel like defeats, when wins don't feel like wins, when you've got Manchester City breathing down your neck and all that type of stuff. But the one thing that I'm looking at, and I'm looking at Everton, and I'm thinking to myself, if we could kick-start again our season, this might be a game that we can do again against Everton. You know, that helped us massively. That was a run of 8 games in December where we won every single one of them. Now we've been in relatively poor form over the last couple of months. So if we can use that to maybe just get our confidence up, and it doesn't matter how we win. It matters that we do win.
If Divock has to pull another one out, then so be it. I'd rather, again, not have to live through that, but listen, if he has to, he's got to do what he's got to do, hasn't he? How about you, now that you've had your little football holiday?
Well, it's funny because you talk about what you've just been talking about, saying it's hard to understand that. Well, being in Germany over the weekend and being at the Dortmund game, it felt, I think, similar to what you're feeling. There was a tension. Bayern Munich had won the night before, so they were on equal points, and it was that idea of not saying the experience chaser, I'm not saying Man City an experience chaser, but certainly someone that people probably thought was favoured to begin the season to win the league, breathing down the neck of a younger side who weren't used to winning the league, and there was a tension within the ground. First 20 minutes they didn't play well, and people just. You could feel it in the players, so I can see where you're coming from. That point of view, it's not when there's an expectation, it takes the enjoyment away. I think a lot of the time. Yeah,
it's and it's doubled down by the world that we live in and we inhabit with the YouTube stuff as well. I've been saying to the kids for ages, it's all the stuff around it that does me head in. I can deal with Liverpool dropping points because I've watched enough football to be able to rationalise anything that happens in football any way I want. but it's the tide of absolute anger and misery that follows, and it's when I can't even talk to you about it, because you're like, yeah, we've got that because we've had we've been shit or whatever. It's like, yeah, we draw games and people would literally like going, this is the worst performances we've had in as far as I can remember. It's like, are you 4 years old? Like, is that because I remember a lot of damn sight worse than that? No, it's just online minge bags who can't, I can get not enjoying the ride because I'm not, but there's a difference between not enjoying it and shutting your fucking mouth about it, which a lot of our fans haven't kind of.
But I think that's the world in which we live in, isn't it? Social media and everything else. Is that you get, we beat Cardiff, and I've seen quite a few people going, it's only Cardiff, and you're like, when are you going to enjoy a win then? Because we're not going to go to Chelsea, Man U, and win 3-0 away, and then you'll go, oh, that was bossed that, because there'll be something else to moan about. You've got to, we haven't won enough games to go, it's only Cardiff. You know what I mean? Everton winning 3-0 away from home doesn't happen very often. So
it's the same argument with a lot of people. Where obviously our atmosphere at Goodison is horrendous. We all know it is. And we put a poll out and said, well, what's going to make it better? When we will start singing when the team start playing well. It's like, well, fucking hell, mate, you're either have to wait a long time,
wait,
or if your sole thing about going to the match is going to be dependent on what 11 lads do, on the pitch, then you're never going to enjoy yourself, are you?
You've got to remember why you go to the game. I think in that instance, you go to the game to support your side.
To spite Liverpool and be able to live up to those bumper stickers you put in your car windows, right? That's why they go to the game. Wrong channel for that, isn't it? Wrong channel for that.
Being deadly serious, you do go to the game to support your side. You know what I mean? You go there beforehand. Does it mean that you don't sing until a ball's been kicked? Because that doesn't happen at Anfield. We sing before a ball's been kicked because you're there to support your team. Now, there are better occasions and worse occasions. 3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs against a mid-table side. You don't get that. And you do need to take a little bit of give and take from the football side to you, but you have to be there in the very beginning. You have to. Those first 10-15 minutes, you just got to be up for it.
So Klopp said the other day, because they were trying to have a go, because he was talking about the atmosphere and the build of a few games, and it was better against Bournemouth. There was a big thing going around social media about trying to make a big effort around it. And it was, well, what about that? Was that better than the Leicester game? And he said, well, it was freezing cold and it was a 1-1 draw with Leicester. So did you really expect people to be bouncing up and down outdoors? So there is give and take in that. But it's a chicken and egg. What comes first, the support or the good footy? They kind of go hand in hand, to be honest. But you need to have a cause to buy into. That's the difference. And if you lose hope in the cause in front of you, then it's far harder to go. Because if it does feel hopeless, that's why I'm taking it away from footy. But true heroes and leaders, they don't need that. They're the kind of people who will go on regardless. Whereas most of us, let's be honest, you get into a situation, it's a bit down, it's a bit shit. You go, it's easier to get taken down.
We just again harping back to Germany, but we went to Dusseldorf and Nuremberg on Saturday night. Nuremberg are bottom of the league with 2 wins all season. Their fans were in half an hour before the game on the terraces singing. They lost a man after 90 seconds. For flicking a fella's balls, and VAR sent them off. They got beat 2-1. They didn't stop from an hour before. They were still singing as they were walking out the stadium, and at 10-15 minutes after the game, and that kind of support's incredible. And I'm not suggesting it would be like that and be on the terrace as well.
Don't we? Maybe that, but we do seem to need it more. I think the experience for it, people go to things for different reasons. I think in different cultures, and I think we do. I think more and more of us go to footy because we need that win. Maybe our lives aren't happy enough, and the thing that we use as our escape. At the moment, the balance between what it causes you cost and upset, isn't being outweighed by what you're getting out of it, and that's a wrong attitude to have about football, as Chris says. But kind of is what it is at the minute. We're all just miserable fuckers, aren't we?
So in terms of the game for us, obviously we just had a good result. So how are you feeling going into this? Because I guess from our point of view, and we just heard the lads talking about the pressure side of it, there's no pressure on us whatsoever.
Is there? Cool and collected. No pressure on us whatsoever.
It's just I suppose for us.
Bollocks.
But there isn't. What's the pressure? What's the pressure?
The pressure is that you've got to live your lives for another spell of months once again if we beat you. Don't be like there's no pressure.
Listen, I'm not being funny, right? I'm not being funny.
No, I know.
He said something before that just like kind of woke me back up to something that I just buried. The last time Everton won a derby, David Moyes was the manager. And that's blown my mind because we've had about 63 managers since.
Yeah.
So we're that used to not winning it.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure on. Or Everton.
Listen, if you're prepared to sit here and tell me there's no pressure on, then I will take what you say at face value. I just think that's just.
I'm saying that today on Sunday.
Are you talking from a fan perspective? Or are you talking from a team perspective?
I think from all, I think.
So if Everton get beat, say 4-0, that's not going to make any odds to you.
Well, it may
Of course
odds
it
to me, like,
because I could say there's no pressure on Everton against Newcastle in 2 weeks, but if Everton get beat 4-0, I'll be fucking livid. So regardless of who we're playing, there's results wise there's always a pressure, but what I'm saying is going into the game, I think from our perspective all the pressure is on Liverpool.
If Everton changes nothing.
If we draw, if we win, obviously it's a big thing because he becomes the first manager since David Moyes to win a derby, which is embarrassing to even say. But if Everton stop Liverpool in their tracks at the weekend, then that's far more damaging to Liverpool than if Liverpool come and beat Everton. Obviously, because we're either going to finish 7th or 15th, 14th, whatever. Now, realistically, it's a few million quid. We finish 7th, yet we can go in the Europa League in about June or something. Do you know what I mean? But realistically, on the grand scheme of things, what is it for us now? Because we've blown enough points.
Isn't it about pride?
Of course it is, but I'm saying the pressure comes from me looking at it. It's all on Liverpool because Liverpool have to win every game till the end of the season, as far as I'm concerned. For us,
isn't it? Can I just say though, isn't it funny how I sat in here the day after the last derby, and you were so bullish.
Yeah.
Like,
oh god,
can't wait for the.
I wanted.
Wait to get
If you could have offered me the derby again on the Wednesday, I'd have bit your hand off for it because I think we'd have turned you over. But then now, that's been the difference. When we done the preview before the head of the Anfield one, we were saying, at least we know we're going to go and have a go, and we'll play because we were playing well, and we did. And listen, you know, we know that God is a red, as he proved that day. You know, because nothing else could. It was ridiculous what happened. Van Dijk shins one, turns away because he's got a fucking cob on with himself. Our keeper starts doing all this, and a lad who couldn't score in a brothel ends up getting the winner. That's it. Couldn't, you know. We just went. Oh yeah.
We found out who our players are since the derby.
Right.
We found out who they really are.
Well, who he is.
We found out who all of our players are. The players who can't handle pressure. Simple as that. And
so it's in their best interest that there's absolutely no pressure on them in this game.
Yeah.
Can they handle no pressure as well?
No, not very good at that. Listen, we're saying this now. Obviously, the manager and the players will be looking at it and going, well, all right, we've kind of got nothing to lose in terms of it's not going to affect us for going for a cup or a league or whatever, or relegation. So therefore, we can go out. The crowd, put it this way, the thing I'm most confident in is that Goodison will be horrible on Sunday. Horrible.
I don't even.
I think it'll be naughty.
I think from what I wasn't at Old Trafford at the weekend, but from what when you get feedback on it, like Old Trafford, I think it'll be a similar thing to that because there's no pressure, but you've actually weirdly got something to fight for, and it shouldn't be. We can analyse that. We'll do that over on our channel, but you know, there's something to it. Because you're playing to be able to stick 2 fingers up, and that's not a lot. That's not silver. You don't have an open top bus tour for 2 fingers, but you do have as I said, you've got to share office space, and you've got to share seats and cabs and buses and taxis and all that kind of stuff with us, as it were. So having that that's. It might seem a bit petty for people who don't understand the rivalry, but if you understand to get into anything to know, if the roles reversed, I'd give anything to knock you off your peg. Exactly. We had this conversation the other day actually, and Chris went the other way to me, but I think if it boiled down to it, right now, if it was a straight shootout between you winning the league this season and Man United winning the league, I'd probably. The only sticking point is Man United having going more league titles away from us, but I couldn't live with you having won a league title before us.
Of course,
that I just couldn't have that.
You haven't even seen us win a derby yet. Never mind. Never mind trophies.
Since we've been in here, we haven't won anything. So God help us when we actually do win one.
Never move out.
I think we will if we this time next year we still haven't won a derby. Maybe we're going somewhere else. Imagine how comfortable they just walk in on a Monday and
Take the rough
wouldn't have Shy. It's all the rough.
Take the rough.
You know where there's no smooth. Shy walks in, whether Liverpool have played or not. If Everton haven't won, he stands there.
That's like buying nothing but sandpaper for bog roll and just saying deal with the rough. It's like, go and buy some smooth. Go and buy some cotton toilet tissue.
Shy walks in with and there's lemons running down his cheek. He's like that bitter for no reason. You're like, why are you bitter? How are you bitter?
I think you know what the problem is. It's a random thought I've been having lately because I think there's a genetic difference between Liverpool fans and Evertonians. I think there's something in people, and I think it's a character trait. And I think because Everton have been so shit for so long, I think there's a lot of lads who would have been Evertonians have become Liverpool fans over the years, and we've got a lot of like people who have got a very Evertonian mentality in and amongst our fan base.
That's what it is, yeah.
I think so. Like, and who are very who are.
Do you not just think we come from the same city and maybe there might be shared, things between us?
It's genetic. I think if you know what, speaking as a geneticist, not a YouTuber, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think you're right. I think there's
there might be
like an element of bitterness that your fans have created, which is incredible. So maybe that's right. Maybe
I think it's a defence mechanism to use, to be honest, in a lot of cases.
Do you think?
You have to create something when you're in such close proximity with people and they're constantly fucking going at it. You create defence mechanisms. Everybody does it. If you have an argument with someone online and they say something, you've got that ammunition because you've had this conversation before. And we've done this dance so many times between Liverpool fans and Everton fans that we all know what each other are going to say.
And also, this is the thing. This is one of the weirdest derbies to preview because. I know we've now been doing it for like 20 minutes, but like, what is there to say? Really, because we've still got yet to go and do the one over on our channel as well. But it's like, what do we say? What do you say to you? What are you going to say about the game? What are we going to say about it? The stories are there, and then the only story that's really there in this game is can Everton derail Liverpool's title?
Bottom of it. In terms of the way you're playing, how are you playing at the moment?
When we're coming up against, I think we're trying to re-imagine ourselves a little bit again. We've seen a bit more 4-3-3 in the last couple of weeks, which is I think was how Klopp would have Liverpool play football all the time if he could find a way to win every game.
I was saying, who's stopping Klopp?
Well, because I think it's a management team.
Opposition managers.
Well, it's their job, isn't it? I suppose.
The way that they're setting up teams against us now is they're not playing to our strengths, and our strengths are gegenpressing and counter-attacking football.
Damn the opposition managers, but damn them!
You never would you? And so Klopp changed it to this 4-2-3-1, a bit more possession-based to try and get a bit of a better handle on things. We had a really nice long grace period where we were winning loads of games of football, and now opposition managers have started to kind of work out what Liverpool are doing. The defence has caught up with the attack, and now we're having to sort of evolve again to try and find another way to beat teams because that stopped working. You see all the times when Conte went 3 at the back and then the next season everyone worked out how to play 3 at the back.
That's what sort of happened with us when we got to December. Everyone had worked us out, but the manager didn't really have any options to do anything different.
You're seeing it because I've seen people saying, and I questioned it myself after Brendan Rodgers' decision to go to Leicester, and I saw someone saying, well, they just got rid of a boring possession-based manager and they're getting another one, and it's like, no. Where Leicester have fallen down is they're a counter-attacking side whom no one allows to counter-attack against them anymore, so they only play well against the good teams, so that's why they can beat the likes of Man City and they can draw with Liverpool and they can do this.
Wolves are similar.
So, but when a team goes, no, you're better than us, we're going to sit in. Leicester aren't good enough with the ball, and that's what Liverpool have had to get good at because we had a bit of shock and awe last year where the Champions League, it's the Champions League, go in there, put your dukes up and have a little bit of a swing at each other, and that favoured us massively. When but more and more we're tasked with like, go ahead lads, we're going to stay here, thanks very much. There's your ball. If you think you can stick it in this goal, good luck
to you,
all the best. The time starts now. Go 90-minute countdown to try and win a game of football.
It does help if you're against the team that have got a juggling goalie.
It helps immensely, mate. I'll be honest, it does.
But I suppose that's what good teams do. They learn the ways to break all them down. We've, as Ped said, we've had not at your level, but we've had similar the teams who've beaten us of late have just come and gone, well, break us down, and we haven't got a clue. We're so slow in possession. We have all the possession.
Yeah.
Last night we had 75% possession in the first half, and we'd had about 2 shots because we're quick getting to the final third, and then we stop. And everyone gets into the low block positions, and then we just turn out.
You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan that unfolds as you're getting into the final third.
Yeah, and we haven't.
And to be fair, we're better and better than that. That's quality of player a lot of times. That's being drilled in what you're meant to do, but also the quality of player, because when you come up against good sides, the relegation fodder, they try it and they always go down. Whereas there's now a clutch of teams between 7th and 15th in the league who've actually got some really good players, and so not only can they actually hurt you if you give them an inch, but they're also, because you get them organised, you get them disciplined. Well, how are you going to get past? Your players are not so much better than what they've got. Most of those teams have got at least one centre half who'd probably get in, be good enough to play for your team or be in the 2 or 3 first teamers you've got in them positions. So it relies on moments of magic, and that's where it might play into Everton's hands. It depends on how you approach the game. Is that Liverpool have been a little bit short of, and usually scoff at this, but a little bit short of luck and magic, because we had a little glut of penalties a few months back. Bear in mind we got like 2 years without a penalty at Anfield, and then we got a little glut, and then all the media went, "Oh, Mo Salah's a diver," and all of a sudden referees went, "Yeah, we won't be giving them any more penalties again." Great, so that's kind of gone out the window.
Well, but
we haven't had the free kicks were great. We score more goals than anyone from like corners and stuff, but we don't score like directly. It's not like Van Dijk. I know we've usually seen. It's not like we ping one into the box, Van Dijk gets up and powers one. We haven't got a centre half who scores 5, 6, 7 goals a season. These little bits and pieces Liverpool haven't added to the game, and so if you defend for your life, if you choose to do that and you defend for your lives, and you've got a bit of quality on the counter-attack, you could cause.
I don't think you've read the narrative here, mate.
I don't think we can defend for our lives, but we can counter. I mean, 2 of our goals last night were counter-attacking goals. The third goal in particular was brilliant. What defensively, in terms of zonal, because we've had Evertonians have had a lot of. I've spoke to you.
Remember the zonal conversations?
No, but this is me and Chris talked
about
this the other week off camera, but I just want to, because obviously a lot of our fans are hating zonal marking and it's the big bad, the big bad wolf and all that. But our Liverpool at defending set plays, I think
we're still best in the league. I think we scored the most from set pieces and we conceded the least from set pieces. The last time I checked, and we play a zonal system. I think the thing with zonal is it needs to be drilled over time, and you need to have the right players for those positions. I mean, we set it up where we have a centre back, Roberto Firmino, and a centre back. And those 3 are the ones in front of the goal. And Bobby Firmino's absolutely brilliant and clears so many balls. He's underrated. But when we sub him out, we'll put someone like Daniel Sturridge in his role.
Yeah, and he hasn't got
a fucking Scooby-Doo what to do, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, if the players are good enough and they apply themselves, the system will generally speak unless the ball's a worldie. And if it's a worldie, I don't think any system, man marking or zonal, can stop it, to be honest. But you just have to play it through. They have to get good at it. They have to take time to adapt to these things. Everton will. If it's being coached right, they'll get better at it.
And zonal marking is the straw man arguments of the moment. When we have them, you'd always have them. There's always got to be something, and it's always an argument that the Flames are fanned by ex players, pundits and all who don't understand it. And they normally played for Arsenal. Under George Graham, and they extol the virtues of Madman, because at least you know who's to blame. Because that's all. Let's be honest. The reason they complain is because pundits get asked who's at fault for that, and they don't know the answer because they don't understand zonal marking.
It's just zonal.
Exactly. So I'm not intelligent enough or understanding enough of the system that I've seen to place blame, and that's all punditry is who is to blame for everything that's happening on a football pitch.
The other week, one of the radio stations had Sylvan Distan, and he literally explained zonal marking in about 3 words and just went, the gap's too big. You've got a massive gap. The goalie's not coming off his line, and the ball is going in between because you're too high up the pitch. And everyone just sort of went, yeah, that's dead easy, that. Because he explained it in a way that everyone just went, but normally it's this and it's that, and they overcomplicate it. He just went, there's a big gap for the centre forward to run into, and the goalie can't come out because he's in no man's land. Because he's a modern centre back who Carragher when we played Millwall. someone on Twitter asked Carragher, you know, someone who's mate to them, who's Evertonian, said, "Oh," and he went, "No, he meant every team in the Premier League defends diagonal free kicks in the zonal mark." He said, "Every single one." He said, "Because if your man mark, it's too easy to lose them." He said, "So don't be blaming that. It's done like that. Yeah. It's when you get these older ones who are used to pulling their hands up, and the old offside rule with, you know, where you have to be man to man."
Yeah. It's just one of those things, and you'll find they have the evolution of a team. So and you've got a couple of them that I recognise very much from like Brendan Rodgers' first season. It's zonal marking, and it's you've not got a centre forward, and you need an out and out a proper number 9. Nobody plays with a fucking proper number 9, really. I mean, there are obvious examples of it, like, but the notion that people want of a proper number 9 isn't quite what people think it is anymore.
I think what Everton need though is a specialist centre forward. That's what we haven't got.
Yeah.
And that's what's let us down. We've got a Cenk Tosun's too slow.
Yeah.
If you get chances to him, he can score goals. He's too slow. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's learning the game. You know, he scored quite a few goals this season. He's still not ready. And that's it really for us. You know, you look at Richarlison's had to go there. So I think if we had a specialist number 9.
The problem with specialist number 9s is if that specialist number 9 gets injured, you've never got another one.
It's not a specialist number 9, I'd say. It's someone who doesn't do one particular thing. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin's really fast, but you never see him like stretch the centre back. You never see him. He scored last night, and it's one of the only times I've seen him do it where he slipped past, the ball come through, and he slipped in between. You never see him saying put the ball over the top. And then we don't have a centre back who can play back to goal either. Yeah. So we don't have one. We just have.
The problem is, a Premier League centre forward, you need to be about 6'2", 6'3" at least. You need to have half a yard of pace, bare minimum. I'd be quick over 5 yards. You need to have great first touch. You need to have vision to bring other people into the game as well. You need to be probably an expert penalty taker in addition to all these things.
How's Lukaku a Premier League striker then?
I don't know.
Because that was everything he's not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why he's not working for Man United.
I mean, Kun Aguero's only like 5'0".
Generally speaking, like, but you know what I mean.
No,
to be a complete Premier League centre forward, you buy
you need someone who can play the role up, and I don't think Everton.
But I think all that's overrated, to be honest. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I think pace is massively important and all that, but look at Harry Kane. You wouldn't say that he's got all of them things nailed. He understands how to get himself in space. Yeah. That's really all you need as a centre forward. Aguero's got the pace, but he understands where to be at the right time. It's knowing the role more.
It's also relationships, isn't it? It's also knowing, like, you look at Sigurdsson for us, his stats on paper are brilliant, right? He's made so many chances, he scored so many goals. But when you watch him, really, you just go, what does he do if he's not scoring?
4 goals for England.
But it's that idea of, well, if he had a centre forward up front,
who could run
and get it.
Movement to this.
I mean,
but here's the thing: what it boils down to, and this is where these are in this trap right now, is that there's 2 types of managers largely. Well, there's 3. One of them's just turd, but the other ones are, you've got an idea of how they want to play, and that you never quite see what it is they're doing until they've got all the pieces together, and then it flies. Yeah. And then you've got the other managers who go in and go, right, what have I got? And they'll cobble something that works to a good level. And in the first season or so, both of them, the results are largely the same. But the user, I think, with Marco Silva, and to be honest, I said this at the time, we'll never know. I felt Koeman was one of them as well. Like, if Koeman had another couple of windows, you might have been surprised with what he'd been able to generate out of it. We're not going to dive into it now. But the Marco Silva thing, he just might need that one player that suits his system, that fits exactly what he does, and that's kind of what Chris is saying there. Harry Kane probably doesn't play as well in Liverpool's system. You've either got to tailor your system to the player you've got, or you have a system that requires a particular type of player, and use a kind of.
Well, I think with use at the moment, I just think you just got to sit it out and wait it out, because I think you've tried changing the manager, changing the lads above him who are making the signings, and they just end up fixing the lad before's job. And they never actually focus on theirs. They're fixing something that wasn't their problem. That's the issue. And you've just got to go, for the next 3 years, we're going to give you the keys to the kingdom and see what you can do with it. And that's kind of
well, I think that's, to be honest,
I think it will work.
Well, it's got to get better, because you're following something, aren't you? You're following a path where, at the moment, and since Moyes went, whether people like it or not, we haven't followed the path. We tried to with Martinez, but we didn't have any money really to get in better players, and he didn't want to defend, so we had no chance there. And then Koeman just wanted to play golf and visit Ellesmere Port for other reasons.
Get ripped by red
Cheshire Oaks is tremendous, Baz. Stop talking it down.
And Allardyce wanted to drink gravy, you know. So now we're where we are.
Not exclusively,
not
of
just
course.
gravy, because pints of wine he liked as well. But it's just that we are where we are, and we've got to just, like you say, we should be now. For me, looking at next season and planning at next season and looking at our team, and the manager and Marcel Brands should be looking at
and
going,
will do,
you're not with us, you're not going to be with us next season because we need X, Y or Z.
We have it where people say to us all the time, like, what if Klopp doesn't win the league this season? It's like, well, he'll have improved on last season and therefore you give him the next, you give him the next season. Yeah. And that's what you've got to keep doing, and it's when you stop improving, isn't it? And now it's difficult for you because it's the first season. So you're going to go through those teething problems, but until he's had 2 or 3 years, I don't think you'll know whether he's a good manager.
I said to you, we've been having this conversation all season, I said, what you do is you've just got to see little shoots of optimism here and there, little things that you hang your hat on and go, okay, I see what he's trying to do here. Now if you've got none of that, and
when does that start?
Yeah, I know. And there's all, but don't forget there's recency bias as well, where it's very hard to remember the first half of a season.
That's the problem, isn't it? Because it was better in the first 3 months than it is in the next 3 months. That's why, because people go, well, if it had been bad, then gone good, then it's dead easy to get behind. But it's when it goes like that, and because it hasn't come back up properly yet. We've only won 4 games in 3 months
since we beat. Yeah,
we've won. Since you beat us, we've won 3 league games since they beat us.
4 now, last night.
Yeah, 4 games since you beat us. Yeah. That's hard as a fan to get behind, isn't it? To see the positives in that.
And double so when you're having to face.
One was Huddersfield and one was Cardiff.
You're seeing the arguments in your face, and we have this a couple of times and saying, how is it our responsibility to fucking have answers for the problems that are making of these multi?
One was a home. Only one of them was a home game.
Yeah.
3 away wins and one home win.
And yeah, people know the bar are away from. Shelby don't win away from home.
I've been speaking to like my brothers are blue, everyone knows, like, and I was speaking to somebody else who used to work at Radio City, and I don't know whether you are the same. He has absolutely loved Everton not playing at the weekend.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Like, he has just been like, my weekends are so good for Everton not playing and ruining my weekend for me. Are you using exactly the same boat? Like
100%. It needed the break, you know. So it was nice last night to just go, oh yeah, here we go then, let's see, and to win 3-0 is great for us. But I'm at he's slightly more reactive than me. I still think back to the way we, as you well know, to the way we played earlier on the season when I could see exactly what he wanted to do, and I keep harping back to this, is that even with Jurgen Klopp for years, a couple of seasons on the run, Liverpool ran out of steam at Christmas and January and then recharged and went again. And I feel like that's what happened to us, our players. We were top at pressing and everything in December. We were the forefront of everything early December. And then they just seem to hit a brick. They look knackered, and you're like,
again, you're teaching lads.
Trying to teach.
You can't teach stamina, you know. But you can build up stamina in people. But there's some people who are naturally better at it than others. And
4 of our team didn't have pre-seasons, though.
But true that, and we've also, we've got in the bed. Like, no one thought Adam Lallana Klopp would get a tune out of Adam Lallana, and he was literally his favourite player for the first year. But he's fallen to bits because we pushed him. We probably pushed him too hard and really done him a disservice physically for it. And now Adam Lallana's nowhere near Liverpool's team because he can't stay fit enough to be in it. But there's plenty of other lads who he knows he'll get 50 games out of at high intensity. But he's had to build that up. Yeah.
Next year there'll all be bits on the floor.
The thing is, it goes back to what I was saying before about Liverpool and the 4-2-3-1. No, Everton start playing a style of football that nobody's got tape on. Nobody can watch at the beginning of the season. So Everton get decent results against sides. As soon as there's a bank of 3 months of games where everyone knows how Everton are playing, then the managers change, and then you have to change with it. And that's difficult when you're teaching someone a system, and then what you're coming up against is slightly different.
But but also I said this about when everyone was creaming the pants over Chelsea at the start of the season. Said they'll get to that point in the season where you don't have time to train anymore, and that when the players need to have it drilled into them so it's in their blood. They know what they're supposed to be doing. And new teams with new managers always struggle in that period, in the December, Christmas period and beyond, and then it's how quickly you get yourself back out of it again, because you don't get to teach
the lads
how to do new things.
It is true. The bit where we felt a bit was December, where you've got games every 3 days essentially, and you can't. If you need to change something, you can't change something, and that's been a big problem. So we've just had 17 days off now, and we've come back with a team that looked well. Phil Jagielka and Morgan Snidlin were in the team for a start.
What? Remember them?
Remember them fellas?
Have you missed Jags?
Yags.
Jagielka.
I didn't believe
Still
that, by
a
the
good
way.
defender, but no, I didn't.
I didn't believe his name's Jagielka until I actually had footage, because we did some Vauxhall stuff for Ball Street years ago, and I had him introducing himself to camp, and I was going, nah, sorry Phil. Okay, you can tell me all you want, that's how your name's pronounced. It's not.
I just like Neil Warnock saying it. Jagielka.
How could his nickname be Jags then?
I know. Be Jags, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there you go.
Anyway.
Done. Well, confidence. So what are you going for? Get predictions.
2-1 to Liverpool.
2-1. Chris?
1-0 Liverpool.
So it's not the 98. What are you going for, mate?
96.
I was 2-2. Every derby I say 2-2.
1-1.
It happened once.
1-1.
Right.
It happened once when someone ran 140 yards on his knees and the game, because he thought
Oh, it happened twice.
and the game was carrying on behind him. That was
Tim Howard throwing himself around like a tit.
Tim Howard, yeah.
Remember him?
There you go.
Not that I've got a long memory on these things.
There you go. That was the most.
Did we
Let's
talk
about a game, because I don't really know what to say other than get into them right from the first whistle, boys. Listen, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Are you confident? If you're a Liverpool fan watching it, why wouldn't you? The lads are here. Are you confident that your title run will continue with another 3?
Check out our Simeone video as well while you're here.
Yeah, my default. Probably already.
Yeah.
Don't think I've seen it.
No.
Well, Baz crying about Never Walk Alone at Dortmund.
I wasn't crying.
Look,
It
he
was
was
just burning my ears out. There you go. Anyway, see
I've
you
seen
later.
that.